Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today as we dive into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting, the kind of story that captures imaginations, stuns collectors, and keeps treasure hunters searching their pocket change every single day. And today we are talking about the mysterious and astonishing case of the 1989 1-cent coin that has been talked about, whispered about, and hyped up across the numismatic community because of one unbelievable claim, the claim that a single 1989 penny sold for a staggering $88 million due to its incredible combination of rare errors, minting mistakes, unusual anomalies, production oddities, and once-in-a-lifetime circumstances that transformed an ordinary-looking piece of copper-plated zinc into a coin of mythic value. And as we unravel this story, we are going to walk through all the possibilities collectors explore, the strange defects that have been reported on rare 1989 pennies, and the kinds of minting issues that, when combined in one extraordinary example, could push its value into unbelievable territory. Because even though most 1989 pennies are extremely common and worth only face value in circulation, the rarest error varieties have proven time and time again that they can fetch jaw-dropping prices when the right combination of rarity, demand, condition, and uniqueness come together. And the story of the 1989 penny that supposedly reached an $88 million price tag centers around a legendary collection, a mysterious owner, and a coin that displayed a cluster of dramatic and nearly impossible errors, starting with the idea that this penny was struck on the wrong planchette, a scenario that happens when a coin is accidentally minted on a blank intended for another denomination or even another metal composition. And collectors speculate that this particular 1989 penny may have been struck on a transitional bronze planchette left over from pre-1982 production, instead of the zinc planchette used from 1982 onward. And if true, this would already make it dramatically rarer, because minting a bronze 1989 penny would require a major oversight. But the legend doesn't stop there, as stories claim the coin displayed a double strike error so clean and so dramatic that both impressions were perfectly visible, with one slightly rotated from the other, creating an effect where Lincoln's profile appeared twice, overlapping in a ghost-like way that only appears in the most extreme double strike mishaps. And collectors know that dramatic double strikes can already command huge premiums, especially when they are bold and perfectly preserved. But the coin was also said to have an off-center strike, where the design was shifted so noticeably to one side that nearly 10% of the blank planchette was visible, yet still retained a perfect date and mint mark, the dream combination for error hunters, because off-center strikes with a full date are exponentially more valuable than those where the date is missing. And as if those errors weren't enough, the coin was rumored to also carry a rare double die obverse, a type of error where the die itself was incorrectly manufactured, causing the date, lettering, or design details to appear doubled. And double die errors are among the most famous and desirable in all of coin collecting, with examples like the 1955 and 1972 double dies reaching tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in top condition. But a double die combined with a wrong planchette strike, a dramatic off-center strike, and a double strike is almost unheard of, the kind of scenario that could only occur through a perfect storm of minting mistakes happening simultaneously in a single fraction of a second. But the story goes even deeper, with collectors speculating that this legendary 1989 penny might also have been a mule error, a rare situation where the front of the coin and the reverse of the coin do not belong together, meaning the obverse die might have belonged to a 1989 Lincoln cent while the reverse die may have been mistakenly matched with a die intended for another year or even another denomination. And mule errors are considered some of the rarest coin mistakes in existence, sometimes selling for massive sums because they should never happen and yet occasionally slip through mint quality control. And when a mule error combines with a wrong planchette, double die, off-center strike, and double strike, the result is a coin that defies logic and probability, the kind of mistake so complex that minting experts would describe it as nearly impossible, which is exactly why such a coin, if it indeed existed in this extreme form, could attract mega-rich collectors, private museums, or elite auction houses willing to push bidding into astronomical territory, especially if the coin was also in an unusually high grade despite the errors, because error coins sometimes escape circulation in pristine condition if they are caught immediately or pulled aside by mint workers before eventually slipping out into the public somehow. And stories suggest that the legendary $88,001,989 penny may have surfaced from a private hoard, found in a collection left untouched for decades, and then authenticated using advanced imaging, metal analysis, and die pair verification. And some say the coin displayed microscopic signs of being struck with mismatched die states, meaning the obverse die might have been heavily worn while the reverse die was nearly new, something that almost never happens and which would add even more mystery to its origin. And while most collectors understand that many legends in the coin community begin with exaggerated tales, misreported auction results, or imaginative speculation, the excitement surrounding such a hypothetical coin is part of what keeps the hobby alive, because every coin hunter who searches through jars of change or bankrolls or old family boxes holds onto the dream that some extremely rare error coin might still be hiding out there waiting to be discovered. And when it comes to the 1989 penny, there are indeed real errors that can make the coin worth money, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, wrong planchette errors, die cracks, capped die strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, and possible minor doubled dies that can range from a few dollars to hundreds or even thousands depending on severity and condition. And these real-world possibilities fuel the myth of the ultra-valuable example, because collectors know that even though most coins will never be worth millions, the rarest errors do sometimes shock the world with record-breaking prices when two determined buyers battle it out for ownership of something truly one of a kind. And the idea of an $88,001,989 penny represents the ultimate dream scenario, the perfect alignment of rarity, historical intrigue, dramatic mint blunders, flawless preservation, and obsessive collector demand. And while the vast majority of 1989 pennies will remain ordinary, the story inspires collectors everywhere to look a little closer at the coins in their hands, to not overlook cracks, misalignments, doubling, distortions, metal variations, or anything that seems even slightly unusual, because the world of numismatics has proven over and over again that tiny details can lead to massive value. And even if the legendary example is wrapped in mystery and speculation, the passion it inspires is real, the fascination is real, and the hope that one extraordinary coin could change someone's life is real. And that is why stories like the $88,001,989 penny continue to captivate collectors, fuel treasure hunts, and spark the imagination of everyone who dreams of finding something rare in the most unexpected places. Next, 2011 D1 cent USA coin. We dive deep into the hidden treasures sitting quietly in pockets, drawers, and old coin jars. And today we are exploring one of the most unbelievable and mind-blowing stories in the world of modern numismatics as we uncover how an ordinary-looking 2011 1-cent coin could shock collectors and experts around the globe with a staggering estimated value of $89 million, a number so massive that it seems unreal until you understand the rare combination of errors, anomalies, minting mishaps, and production oddities that transformed this small copper-plated zinc cent into an extraordinary piece of numismatic history. And as we walk through every possibility, every tiny detail, and every unexpected flaw that gives this coin its unbelievable price tag, you'll gain a whole new appreciation for how something so tiny can carry such enormous value. So sit back and enjoy as we unravel the fascinating reasons people dream of finding their own 2011 penny worth big money. Because this is the kind of story that makes collectors check every coin twice, hoping to catch lightning in a bottle just like this extraordinary and incredibly rare cent. The incredible value of this particular 2011 1-cent coin begins with the unusual circumstances surrounding its minting year, a year when the US Mint was in the middle of refining its high-speed production processes, upgrading equipment, and adjusting quality control systems, meaning a number of coins from this period sometimes show unexpected inconsistencies. And when one coin manages to combine multiple rare and dramatic errors, the value doesn't just rise steadily, it explodes into territory most collectors never even imagine, especially when those errors are visibly shocking, easily verifiable, and tied to die varieties or planchette mistakes that almost never occur together. One of the most striking possibilities that collectors believe this $89 million specimen may display is a double die obverse error so dramatic that Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled in areas like the forehead, the nose bridge, the beard outline, and even the lettering around the motto, an effect created when the die itself shifts slightly during the hubbing process, producing two slightly misaligned impressions instead of one, and although minor doubling is fairly common. The extreme version believed to exist on this legendary 2011 cent is significant enough to create sharp separation lines that are visible without magnification, something that instantly pushes the rarity and desirability into elite territory. Alongside that, experts speculate that this coin might also feature a misaligned die strike where the obverse is perfectly centered but the reverse is shifted just enough to throw off the rim proportions, revealing a sliver of blank planchette on one side while pressing too close to the edge on the other, a rare form of misalignment that when combined with major doubling multiplies the value exponentially because the chances of both errors occurring on a single coin are almost non-existent. Another astonishing characteristic possibly contributing to its immense worth is the presence of a broad strike or off-center strike that didn't remove major details but shifted the entire design slightly outside the expected border, a mistake that typically occurs when the collar fails to contain the planchette at the moment of striking, and although most off-center coins are noticeable, the truly rare ones are the ones that remain attractive, well-detailed, and visually balanced, preserving almost all inscriptions while still presenting a dramatic display of error, making collectors eager to pay extreme premiums for pieces exhibiting such symmetry. Some theories also suggest that this extremely valuable 2011 penny may have been struck on the wrong planchette entirely, possibly landing on a leftover blank intended for a foreign coin or another denomination, and if that were the case, the weight, metal composition, and thickness of the coin would differ from standard specifications, something that instantly boosts rarity because planchette mix-ups are among the most coveted mint errors in the world, and when paired with doubling or misalignment, they create the legendary once-in-a-lifetime type of coin capable of reaching astronomical values at auction. Another possibility is that this extraordinary cent exhibits a transitional metal error where an outdated planchette from a previous composition year slipped into the system unnoticed, causing the coin to be struck on a composition not meant for its year, and transitional errors are among the rarest of all modern mint mistakes, often carrying price tags that shock even seasoned collectors because they represent a perfect storm of timing, oversight, and minting complexity. Beyond metal composition, the coin might also display extraordinary die cracks stretching from the rim toward Lincoln's portrait or around the reverse shield design, creating raised jagged lines of metal known as lightning strikes among collectors, and dramatic die cracks can become highly desirable when they look visually striking or when they form shapes or patterns that make them stand out from ordinary coins, turning what was once a simple flaw into a collectible masterpiece. Additional speculation suggests the $89 million value could also be due to a rare mule error where the obverse die of the 2011 cent was accidentally paired with the wrong reverse die, a mismatched combination that creates a coin that shouldn't exist at all, and mule errors are considered some of the rarest mint accidents ever recorded, with only a handful known in all of US coinage history, meaning if such a coin appeared in the modern penny series, its value could easily climb into tens of millions due to sheer impossibility. Another potential factor pushing the value upward is the exceptional condition of the coin, possibly existing in a grade near perfection such as MS68, MS69, or even the nearly mythical MS70 for a circulation-era penny, and when extreme mint errors appear on a coin that also boasts immaculate surfaces, original luster, minimal abrasions, and perfect strike sharpness, the value multiplies dramatically because collectors crave high-grade examples of already rare errors, making such specimens nearly priceless. Experts also believe this legendary 2011 penny might carry rotated dies where the reverse is turned several degrees away from proper alignment when compared to the obverse, creating a visual twist that instantly catches attention and adds yet another layer of uniqueness. And rotated die errors become extremely valuable when the rotation is dramatic enough to be visually obvious while still preserving most design elements clearly. Combined with this, The coin may show machine doubling or strike doubling on top of true hub doubling, creating a layered, textured appearance on letters like Liberty and the motto, and when both forms of doubling appear together, they produce a dramatic visual effect that collectors find irresistible. Some even speculate that the coin may have been part of an extremely small batch of experimental strikes or test runs during the minting process, meaning it could be one of only a few coins struck before the dies were recalibrated or replaced, making it not only an error coin but also part of a microissue with extremely limited survival. Additionally, its massive value could be boosted by its provenance, meaning its history of ownership, possibly passing through the hands of famous collectors, institutions, or auction houses, and provenance can significantly raise a coin's desirability and its final hammer price because collectors love owning pieces with legendary backstories. All these possibilities combine like puzzle pieces to paint the picture of why an ordinary 2011 penny could rise to an unbelievable value of $89 million, and although most 2011 pennies are worth face value, the rare one containing this unique constellation of dramatic errors, flawless condition, and once-in-a-generation anomalies becomes a true numismatic miracle, proving that the world of coins is full of astonishing surprises waiting to be discovered, and every time you check your change, you might just uncover the next record-breaking treasure that changes your life forever. So keep looking closely, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a tiny copper-plated zinc coin to rewrite the rules of value and rarity in ways no one could ever imagine. Last 2016 D1 cent USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most surprising, exciting, and mind-blowing discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting. A story that grabs viewers instantly and keeps them hooked as we explore how a seemingly ordinary 2016 D1 cent coin, a coin that millions of people have handled without thinking twice, has shocked collectors and experts alike by being valued at a staggering $90 million due to a mix of bizarre errors, extremely rare mistakes and unique factors that push it into the realm of near-mythical treasures. So settle in as we break down what makes this humble penny worth big money and why certain rare coins become so incredibly valuable when everything lines up in the strangest possible way. Because the 2016 D penny may look simple at first glance, but its unusual characteristics tell a deeper story about minting accidents, mechanical failures, die deterioration, metal inconsistencies, and astonishing production. Oddities that have the potential to elevate a coin's value from 1 cent to life-changing wealth, and this particular scenario has fascinated collectors who always dream of the possibility that a single penny in their pocket could be hiding a fortune. When we dive into the world of the 2016 D penny, we have to start with the Denver Mint itself, which is known for producing billions of pennies every year, and while their high-volume production is incredibly efficient, it also means that even the smallest mechanical issue or die flaw can create rare or one-of-a-kind error coins without anyone noticing until after they enter circulation. And that's exactly what makes the 2016 D year so fascinating, because a handful of unusual examples have surfaced that exhibit a mix of errors so complex and so unusual that the possibility of them combining in a single coin is astronomically small. And when rarity meets demand in the collector world, values can skyrocket beyond anything the average person might imagine. One of the most commonly discussed errors linked with this extraordinary coin is the dramatic die clash, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind faint but unmistakable traces of design elements from the reverse appearing on the obverse and vice versa. And although die clashes happen every so often, what makes the 2016 D clash special is that it reportedly includes multiple overlapping clash impressions, suggesting that the dies collided several times before the issue was corrected, and multiple clash layers are extremely rare, creating a ghost-like effect across Lincoln's portrait and the shield on the reverse, giving the coin an eerie, almost holographic appearance that immediately draws attention. Another crucial factor that increases the value is the possibility of a double die, a minting mistake that occurs when the hub impresses the design onto the die more than once but slightly misaligned. And collectors around the world prize doubled dies because they can significantly alter areas like the lettering, the date, the motto, or Lincoln's eye. And in the case of the rumored $90 million coin, The doubling is said to be dramatic and visible even without magnification, with clear separation lines around the numbers in the date, as well as along the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, creating an unmistakable layered look that instantly identifies the coin as a major error and not just normal wear or damage. But that's not all, because the 2016 D penny in question supposedly contains another error stacked on top of the others, a severe off-center strike, meaning the planchette was not positioned correctly when struck, causing the design to land significantly off balance and leaving part of the coin blank or partially missing, and off-center coins with large percentages of misalignment already carry strong value, but when combined with doubled dies and die clashes, the rarity multiplies exponentially, making the coin almost 1 in a billion. Some collectors also point out that certain 2016 D examples appear to be struck on improperly prepared planchets, meaning slight changes in metal composition or thickness create unusual tones, streaks, color shifts or textural irregularities, and when a coin with already rare die errors ends up on a flawed planchette, its uniqueness skyrockets, because minting mistakes layered on top of planchette abnormalities produce coins that are essentially mint-made anomalies that can never be replicated. There is also discussion about possible broad strike characteristics, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally shapes the planchette into its final round form, resulting in a wider, flatter or distorted rim, and this contributes further to the coin's strange appearance and heightened desirability. The combination of all these errors, die clashes, doubled dies, off-center strikes, planchette abnormalities, broad strikes and strike pressure variations, creates a perfect storm of minting chaos, and although such a mixture might sound unbelievable, history shows that accidents like this are indeed possible when mint equipment malfunctions for even a few seconds during high-speed mass production. Now, what makes collectors go absolutely wild over coins like this isn't just the presence of errors but the rarity of specific combinations, because even a single double die can elevate a penny's value into the thousands, and when several extremely rare errors coordinate in one coin, the value has no upper limit, especially when wealthier collectors or museums see it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The hypothetical $90 million price tag reflects this idea of ultimate rarity, the kind of value assigned to coins that are believed to be the only known example of their kind, and while not every 2016 D penny will have such errors, the possibility that even one could exist fuels the imagination of collectors everywhere, pushing them to check every pocketful of change, every coin jar, every stash of pennies tucked away in drawers. What makes this story even more exciting is that some 2016 D pennies show subtle misalignments or minor doubled features that hint at larger mint issues during certain production runs, meaning that treasures might still be out there waiting to be discovered, and that's why coin hunters emphasize paying close attention to coins that look even slightly unusual, because tiny signs can point to extremely valuable errors. When people hear about a penny being worth $90 million, it may sound unreal. But the world of numismatics is full of cases where coins initially dismissed as ordinary turned out to be priceless due to a single overlooked detail, and once collectors realize that the 2016 D penny has multiple possible pathways to extraordinary value, whether through extreme doubling, off-center strikes, rare clash marks, metal inconsistencies, or unique combinations of errors, they begin to understand why. Experts say that modern pennies are not always as boring or common as they seem. So as you explore your own change and think about the potential hiding in the coins you handle daily, remember that stories like the $90 million 2016 D penny aren't just exciting tales but reminders that minting mistakes are real, rare coins do surface unexpectedly and life-changing discoveries can come from the most unlikely places, especially when you know what to look for.